The Unexpected Teacher. How Failure Forged My Success. My life wasn't a fairy tale. It wasn't a smooth, upward climb to success. It was, and still is, a messy, chaotic journey filled with stumbles, falls, and the occasional triumphant leap. But it's the falls, the stumbles, the moments of utter failure, that have taught me the most valuable lessons. Failure, I've discovered, is the unexpected teacher. It started small. I failed my driving test 3 times. I felt humiliated, embarrassed, and utterly defeated. My friends passed on their first try. They seemed to effortlessly glide through the maneuvers, while I stalled, swerved, and generally made a fool of myself. I spent weeks agonizing over my failures, replaying every mistake in my head. I was convinced I'd never be able to drive. But eventually, I dusted myself off. I studied harder. I practiced more. I even hired a driving instructor for extra lessons. On my 4th attempt, I passed. That small victory felt monumental. It wasn't just about passing the driving test. It was about overcoming my fear of failure. This pattern repeated itself throughout my life. In school, I struggled with math. I spent hours staring at equations, my brain feeling like a tangled mess of wires. Tests felt like insurmountable mountains. I failed a few exams, but instead of giving up, I found a tutor. She helped me break down complex problems into smaller, more manageable steps. I practiced diligently, and slowly, painfully, my grades improved. The feeling of accomplishment when I finally understood a difficult concept was far more satisfying than any effortless failure had shown me the importance of perseverance, of seeking help, and of finding the right approach. My first job was a disaster. I was a nervous wreck, constantly worried about making mistakes. I was terrible at multitasking, missed deadlines, and struggled to keep up with the workload. My boss called me into his office for a performance review, and I braced myself for the worst. He was surprisingly kind, but firm. He pointed out my weaknesses, offered constructive criticism, and gave me a chance to improve. He didn't fire me, which I'm eternally grateful for. I took his feedback seriously. I learned to prioritize tasks, to delegate when needed, and to ask for help when I was struggling. I worked late, studied my role, and gradually gained confidence. Eventually, I became a valuable member of the team. That experience taught me the importance of resilience, of learning from criticism, and of valuing the opportunity to grow. Then came the bigger failures. The business ventures that went bankrupt, the relationships that ended, the dreams that crumbled. These weren't just minor setbacks, they were earth-shattering events. They left me feeling lost, confused, and heartbroken. There were times when I questioned everything, when I felt like giving up entirely. I spent weeks, sometimes months, wallowing in self-pity. But I always emerged, stronger, wiser, and more determined. Each failure, no matter how devastating, forced me to confront my weaknesses, to identify my blind spots, and to learn from my mistakes. It pushed me to adapt, to innovate, and to develop new strategies. I learned to analyze my failures objectively, to understand what went wrong, and to avoid repeating the same mistakes. I learned to forgive myself, to accept that failure is a part of life, and to use it as fuel for future success. For instance, after my first business failed, I spent months analyzing what went wrong. I had a great product, but my marketing strategy was terrible. I hadn't done enough research, hadn't understood my target market, and hadn't effectively communicated the value of my product. My second attempt was different. I spent months researching, developing a robust marketing plan, and testing my strategy thoroughly. While I still encountered challenges, the business thrived. Failure had taught me the importance of thorough planning and effective marketing. The same principle applied to my personal life. After a particularly painful relationship ended, I spent time reflecting on my role in the breakdown. I realized I had neglected certain aspects of the relationship, hadn't communicated my needs effectively, and hadn't been assertive enough. In subsequent relationships, I focused on open communication, setting boundaries, and actively nurturing the connection. Failure helped me understand the importance of self-awareness, healthy communication, and setting boundaries. It's easy to dwell on failures, to let them define us. But that's a mistake. Failures are not the opposite of success. They are a crucial stepping stone towards it. They are opportunities for growth, for learning, and for self-discovery. They challenge us to adapt, to innovate, and to become more resilient. They force us to confront our weaknesses, to identify our blind spots, and to develop new strategies. Success often comes easily, leading to complacency. We coast along, satisfied with our achievements, failing to push ourselves beyond our comfort zones. But failure forces us to step outside of our comfort zones, to confront our fears, and to discover our true potential. It teaches us humility, resilience, and the importance of hard work. It makes us stronger, more adaptable, and more resourceful. My journey has been far from perfect. I've experienced countless failures, both big and small. But each one has been a valuable lesson, shaping me into the person I am today. I've learned to embrace failure, not as an ending, but as a beginning of a new chapter, a new opportunity for growth, a chance to learn and to become better. Failure is the unexpected teacher, and its lessons are invaluable. So, if you're facing failure, don't despair. Don't let it define you. Instead, embrace it, learn from it, grow from it, because the greatest successes often come from the most unexpected places, from the lessons learned in the crucible of failure. Use your failures as stepping stones to your success. Don't be afraid to fall. Be afraid to never get up. And remember, the unexpected teacher is always there, waiting to guide you on your journey. The journey towards success, paved with the invaluable lessons of failure.